The 65-year-old man tossed into the air by a charging Yellowstone bison is now speaking out about the encounter.
They move faster than you could ever imagine. He just kept coming and he was more aggressive. And as soon as he got off that tree, he launched me in the air.
Bozeman Health releasing this video where from his hospital bed, Carl McDaniel says he and his grandson were on a walk after dinner.
We saw the bison and he was down. He wasn't showing aggression or anything like that until it picked a target. That target happened to be me.
McDaniel says he was trying to protect his grandson, who was unharmed, before the bison charged at him.
I didn't get bruises from him launching me in the air. It was the landing that came the problem.
McDaniel is recovering from a fractured hip, his doctor showing just how severe the damage was.
It was definitely clear that he had a pretty painful injury. It's actually broken in multiple pieces, and you can see some fragments here.
But despite those injuries,
I always felt safe and secure. I wasn't ever terrified.
Looking back, McDaniel says he knows just how lucky he was.
Even though I was on the ground, he could have stomped me, he could have gored me, could have done anything.
Camila Bernal, NBC News.
Yo, I tried my best not to laugh when I first seen this video. It went hella viral. 65-year-old white man was visiting Yellowstone National Park. I believe it's located in Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken. And a buffalo targeted him, in quotation marks, when he was taking photos of it. But here's my thing. Why the hell were you standing in a vicinity where the buffalo was resting? First of all, he was unbothered. You should have never bothered his ass. You should have took your photos on the trail, probably with a tour guide that was further away from where that buffalo was laying down. Had he not disturbed that buffalo's peace, maybe he wouldn't have targeted his ass. How about them apples, you know? But I'm glad that the old man is okay. I'm glad he's recovering in the hospital. He's got a couple of fractured bones, unfortunately, so that's gonna take some time to recover. But white people, please, for the love of God, leave the animals alone. If you want to see the animals, cool. But stay your ass in the safaris and make sure if you take photos, don't disturb the animal's peace and don't be near it. Now on a serious note, I'm very glad that Grandpa was okay. And I'm glad that the grandson was unharmed. As you can see from the news interview he did, he suffered a fractured hip, according to his doctors at the hospital. Not sure if he's still recovering, but the last time I checked, he was in the hospital. But let this be a lesson learned, folks. Leave animals the F alone. Leave them alone. Now, he may have been a good distance away, even though he was a professional photographer. Still, you gotta take precaution when you're out in the wild, especially when you're close, or rather from a distance, quote unquote, from a very wild, deranged animal like a bison. That's like saying, I'm gonna get my ass at the park and be in close proximity to a grizzly bear. Do you know how fast a grizzly bear runs? Grizzly bears run about 70 miles per hour. Bisons run about the same. It's like equivalent to a vehicle. So just imagine a big old wild animal charging at you, going 70 miles per hour. You try to run away from it. Now, the last time I checked, I thought you weren't supposed to run when an animal gets angry at you. The last time I checked, if a bear is nearby, you're supposed to stand still. You ain't supposed to run because you're going to aggravate it some more. But then Grandpa, I guess, panicked and spooked it some more when the bison got up, when his peace was disturbed, trying to save the grandson from what the news said. And it still got attacked and got tossed 8 feet in the air. Can you imagine the feeling of being tossed by a wild animal like a bison? And then you get tossed 8 feet into the air, damn near 10 feet. And On a lighter note, I've seen so many memes, so many videos with this man being tossed in the air and remixed with different music and sounds and stuff, like funny videos. And I ain't gonna laugh. I couldn't help. I laughed my ass off when I first seen Grandpa getting tossed in the air. But I'm glad he's okay. Like I said, I'm glad his grandson is okay too. But just know sometimes the animals can sense some bullshit. They can sense some energy too. They just like humans. If we sense something is off, if our peace is being disturbed and we're unbothered, we gonna get mad too. So I understood where the bison was coming from in this situation. I just felt like just maybe, if Grandpa would have probably been protected, like I said, in that vicinity of that bison, he probably would have been fine. He probably would have been okay. But because he was out in the open and he was in his territory, because that's what happens when you cross the line in a wild animal's territory, they're going to come after you. They're going to charge after you. And this is why I don't mess with the animals. As much as I would love to pet the animals like it's a petting zoo, I'm not dealing with no animals in no national park. I'm just not. I'm not. The closest I got to an animal was probably the fairgrounds, the county fairgrounds. You know, I went up and petted, the horses, the sheep, more domesticated animals I know won't attack my ass. But when you have animals that are wild and untamed in open fields in a big old national park, and you're like maybe 10 feet away from it, just know there's some bullshit gonna happen. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, do y'all have any suggestions? Do y'all have any ideas maybe how he could have improved or protected himself from being attacked? I don't know. Because in these type of situations, I don't know what to say because I ain't never been in it, thank God. The only national park I went to that was remotely close to this situation was Glacier National Park, which is located in Montana. Went to Montana a long time ago. It randomest, spontaneous trip I ever made. I'll never do it again. I was visiting one of my white friends from the military. But anyway, he took me to this national park. It was real chill, real cool, but very, very cold at the time. And this was like during the pandemic time frame, like 2020, 2021, right? So anyway, taking pictures, looking through this, telescope that he had, his little fancy gear, and then all of a sudden, we spotted a grizzly bear. But guess what? That grizzly bear was like 50 feet away at a waterfall, far away from us to see and enjoy and take pictures. Wasn't near us, thank God. Now just imagine, just maybe, if that bison was a little bit further away, Grandpa would have been all right. But Grandpa was way too close in that vicinity. That's why that bison was angry and felt threatened. But yeah, you just cannot cross the line with certain animals. You just cannot. That's like that one video I seen with this white lady. I think she had got out of her car where she was feeding some baby bears in the middle of the road. I forgot what state she was in. But she got out the car like a dummy. And then the mama bear came lunging at her and trying to attack her. And that's why I say, this is why you don't mess with the wildlife. This is why they tell you never to feed the bears. Don't touch the bears. You could take a picture of them, just don't touch them. Especially if there's a baby cub nearby. The last thing you should do is touch a baby bear because the mother is nearby. It's the last thing you should do. But yeah, can't imagine. I cannot imagine that situation. That's scary, but comical at the same time. When you look at this video over and over, it is quite comical. But like I said, I'm glad everybody was okay. And let this be a lesson learned, white people. Do not get too close to wildlife, especially if you're on a trail where it's an open field and you're like less than 50 feet away from it. You definitely don't want to be near it. That's all I have to say. But anyway, y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below. I'm done.